It's very clear cut. And there's not a single verse anywhere in the gospel which says that Jesus, peace be upon him, was resurrected. In fact, if you read, it's mentioned, if you remember the story, that after the alleged crucifixion, when the disciples, they met in the upper room, Jesus, peace be upon him, he comes. It's mentioned in the Gospel of Luke, chapter number 24, verse number 36. He comes and he says to the disciple, Shalom, in Hebrew, which means peace unto you. Next verse, Gospel of Luke, chapter 24, verse 37, says, but they were terrified and affrighted and supposed him to be a spirit. I am asking a question. Why did the disciples think Jesus, peace be upon him, to be a spirit? Did Jesus look like a spirit? And when I asked this question to the Christians, all of them said no. And they are right. Jesus Christ, peace be upon him, did not look like a spirit when he comes to the upper room after the alleged crucifixion. So why did they think that he was a spirit? The reason is because they had heard from hearsay that the Master Jesus, peace be upon him, was put on the cross. They had learned from hearsay that he had given up the ghost, that he had died. They had learned from hearsay that he was dead and buried in the grave for 3 days. Hearsay, hearsay. You know why? Because they were not eyewitnesses. According to Mark, Gospel of Mark, chapter number 14, verse number 50, it says that all of them forsook him and fled. In the most crucial juncture in the life of Jesus, peace be upon him, when he required them the most, all the disciples, 100%, all of them, according to Mark, chapter 14, verse 50, they forsook him and fled. Who says that? Not Dr. Zakir Naik, Gospel of Mark, chapter 14, verse number 50. All of them forsook him. So it was from hearsay. Therefore they think and they thought that he was a spirit. But Jesus, peace be upon him, to clarify that out, it's mentioned in the next two verses. In the Gospel of Luke, chapter number 24, verse number 39 and 40, Jesus, peace be upon him, says that, behold my hands and feet. It is I myself. Handle me and see, for a spirit has no flesh and bone, as you see me have. And saying so, he shows them his hands and feet. He tells them, behold my hands and feet. It is I myself. What has happened to you? It is me, your Lord and Master Jesus, peace be upon him. Why are you affrighted? Handle me and see. Behold my hands and feet. For a spirit has no flesh and bones. What was he trying to prove by showing his hands and feet? Was he trying to prove that he was resurrected? Was he trying to prove that he was a spirit? He was trying to prove that he was not a spirit. He was not resurrected. Next two verses. Gospel of Luke, chapter number 24, verse number 41 to 42. It says that they were overjoyed and they wondered. They thought he's dead, and now they are happy that the Lord and Master is alive, physical, with flesh and bones in front of them. They are happy. Jesus, peace be upon him, yet to confirm them, says that, do you have any meat here? And they gave him a piece of broiled fish and honeycomb. And he took it and he ate before them. To prove what? That he was resurrected. To prove that he was spirit. To prove that he was a physical body. He ate and he chewed in front of them. A piece of broiled fish and honeycomb to prove that he was not resurrected. He was not a spirit, but he was in flesh and bones, a physical body. If no resurrection, no crucifixion, no Christianity. If you remember the story of Mary Magdalene, when she goes to the tomb of Jesus, peace be upon him, on the third day, it's mentioned in the Gospel of John, chapter number 20, verse number 1, as well as the Gospel of Mark, chapter number 16, verse number 2, that it was the first day of the week, meaning it was a Sunday. Sabbath day is Saturday for the Jews. The first day of the week is Sunday. It was the first day of the week that Mary Magdalene goes to the tomb. Now, why should Mary Magdalene go to the tomb on the third day after Jesus Christ, peace be upon him, supposedly was dead? Why should she go? The reply is given in the verse earlier, in the Gospel of Mark, chapter number 16, verse number 1, that Mary Magdalene goes to massage Jesus, peace be upon him, to anoint him. The word is anoint, which the original Hebrew word is masaha, means to massage, to rub, to anoint. And from this root word, you can even derive the Arabic word, Masih, or the Hebrew word, Messiah, which means the anointed one, which if you translate to Greek, it means Christos, from which you get the word Christ, the anointed one. I'm asking a question. Do Jews massage dead bodies on the third day? Have you any time heard Jews massaging dead bodies on the third day? And the answer is no. I'm asking the Christians. Do Christians massage dead bodies on the third day? And the answer is no. Do Muslims? Do we massage dead bodies on the third day? And the answer is no. So why is she going to the tomb to massage Jesus, who has died on the third day, according to the Christians? You know why? Because she was the only one, besides Joseph of Arimathea and Nicodemus, who gave the burial bath to Jesus, peace be upon him. And when Jesus' body was brought down, peace be upon him, from the cross, she might have seen some life in the limb body. But naturally, she's not going to say, he's alive! Otherwise, they will put him to death again. Seeing certain life in the limb body of Jesus, peace be upon him, she comes back on the third day, after the Sabbath day, to look for a live Jesus, peace be upon him. A live Jesus, peace be upon him. And it's mentioned in the Gospel of John, chapter number 20, verse number 1, and the Gospel of Mark, chapter number 16, verse number 4, that she finds that the stone has been removed. And even the winding sheets, they are unwound and placed in a pile. The question is, why should the stone be removed? And why should the winding sheets be unwound and placed at the side, piled up at the side? If Jesus, peace be upon him, was resurrected as a spiritual body, does a spirit require the stone of the entry of the tomb to be removed? If it's a spirit, doors cannot stop a spirit from entering. The stone need not be removed. Why was the stone removed? And if a spirit has to move, does it have to unwound the winding sheets? It's not required. But if it's a physical body, the stone blocking the entry of the tomb has to be removed. The winding sheets have to be unwound, proving that Jesus, peace be upon him, the person who came out of the tomb, was a physical body. And the tomb was a private property of the secret disciple of Joseph of Arimathea, who was a rich and influential Jew. And he had carved a big roomy tomb, maybe for himself, for future, in which Jesus, peace be upon him, was kept. The tomb or the sepulchre. And according to Jim Bishop, he says, Jim Bishop, not Bible, Jim Bishop, says, it was very roomy, very big. 5 feet wide, 7 feet in height, and 15 feet in depth. Why do you require a roomy tomb? So that if anyone wants to help a person, it can be done easily. These are small rooms in Bombay. It is approximately 75 square feet. 75 square feet flat is big in Bombay. We find 5-6 people living in that room. In Bombay, one of the most expensive places in the world. 75 square feet, you find 4-5 people living in it. So roomy enough if they want to help the person. Why would they want to help a spiritual body? A spiritual body is only going to help. But naturally they want to help a physical body. Further, if you read in the Gospel of John, chapter number 20, verse number 15, Jesus, he sees that Mary Magdalene, from the earth, from terra firma, not from the heaven, he sees her and she's weeping. And he comes to her and asks, "Woman, why weepest thou? Whom seekest thou?" Knowing very well what is the reason, but yet asking her. She says, and supposed him to be a gardener, she asks him, "Where have you taken him and laid him, so that I may take him away?" I'm asking a question. Why did Mary Magdalene suppose Jesus to be, peace be upon him, a gardener? I'm asking a question. Do resurrected bodies look like gardeners? Do they? Yes or no? No. So why should she suppose that Jesus, peace be upon him, was a gardener? And the answer is, because he was disguised as a gardener. Now why should a spiritual body be disguised as a gardener? Jesus Christ was disguised as a gardener, peace be upon him, because he was afraid of the Jews. A spiritual body need not be afraid of the Jews. Why? Because according to Hebrew, chapter number 9, verse 27, a man dies only once. And after that is the day of judgment. Jesus, peace be upon him, said in the Gospel of Luke, chapter number 20, verse number 36, neither shall you die anymore. Because if you're spiritualized, you don't have to be afraid of anyone. No one can harm you. You cannot die a second time. If he's spiritualized, why should he be disguised? Why should he be afraid? Why should he be in hiding? Why should he run away from the Jews?